Hello everybody, welcome back. This is Harry from Keep It Real. I'm doing a Snow White review. This is the new Snow White, the Snow White 2025, the live action. Before I even get into it, I'll tell you right away from, what I've seen. And this movie, I think, works for kids. I think, for boys and girls of a certain age group, this movie will work. I think it will work because they have a lot of singing and it has a lot of dance numbers. If they like, Snow White and the Seven Dwarves, the original, this it's different. This movie is very different. It's not the same. They changed the storyline, which was what Disney was asked to do because a lot of their remakes of the original cartoons were just too much on the nose, I guess. And people they wanted something different, and they definitely changed it. Hence why this movie is actually called Snow White and not Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Everyone has to keep in mind, I have not seen the original Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs in a very, very long time. I'm not going to compare this one to that one because I don't really remember that one. All I could do is just tell you what I saw with this one. The story is pretty much, in the beginning, it's pretty much the same thing as the original Snow White story. Snow White's parents are the king and queen. They have a baby. Supposedly they have a Snow White outside during a snowstorm, so they named the child Snow White. As time goes on, the mother dies. The father is lonely. He remarries. In steps in the stepmother, who becomes the evil queen. The evil queen sends the father, the king, out, and he never comes back. Snow White is still waiting around for her father. Obviously, the queen is now taking over the castle, taking over the village, stealing money, taking everything from people, locking up Snow, and being a pretty bad person. Gal Gadot is the evil queen. Rachel Zegler plays Snow White. I think both of them did a good job, to be honest with you. Rachel Zegler played Snow White to, if that's the version of Snow White that, people wanted to see. I heard that people didn't want to see her in it, but I don't know why. She could sing. Gal Gadot actually sang, and I was actually kind of shocked that she sang a song. But Gal Gadot didn't really have a lot to do in this movie. She was the evil queen, but they didn't really give her a lot to work with. It's pretty minimal, and the lines that she had, she pulled it off. It was simple lines, but I think that she's opening up herself to more, acting roles. Because a lot of people always rag on Gal Gadot saying that she can't act, but I think she's coming to her own. She's not the greatest actress in the world, but this is, once again, it's not the greatest role in the world either. Okay, let's get back to the story. It's the same old story again. The evil queen has Snow White captured. She asks the mirror, who's the fairest of them all. Obviously, the mirror is going to say Snow White. It upsets the queen. So the queen asks the huntsman to take her to the woods and kill her. The huntsman says, "Oh, I can't kill her." So she lets her run away. And this is where she stumbles into the woods, and then the animals show up, and they take her to the Seven Dwarfs' house. The CGI for the animals, I don't know how much money they spent on this, because the CGI on the animals, as well as the Seven Dwarfs, they need some work. Snow sleeps on their bed, and when the dwarfs came back home from working, they discover Snow, and obviously they become friends. The dwarves, honestly, look mad creepy. They did not make them cute. They did not. I think there was many ways of making the dwarves, and they did not make them to the point where I would say, "Oh, those guys work." They kind of used the original and made it into more lifelike, which is real scary to begin with if you think about it that way, because they had big heads, small bodies, they talk, walk, and it kind of creepy, to be honest with you. When I first saw them, I'm like, this is, I don't know if the kid's gonna, buy into them, because they're kind of scary. But nevertheless, the Seven Dwarfs are there. She doesn't stay with the Seven Dwarfs too long. So they have one song, I think, and then she goes off. She says, "I gotta go look for my father." Now that Snow is in the woods looking for her father, the queen finds out she did the silly mirror on the wall thing again, and asks who's the fairest of them all. Once again, the mirror says it's Snow White, and then the queen says, she's supposed to be dead. I should be the fairest one of them all, obviously, but she's not dead because the huntsman didn't kill her. So she imprisons the huntsman, and now she sends guards out to try to capture Snow White, kill Snow White, really. But once she's out there, she bumps into a man. Everyone's going to say, oh, it's Prince Charming. It's not Prince Charming. There's no Prince Charming in this story. It's Jonathan. Jonathan is your Prince Charming character, but it's not Prince Charming. He's not a prince. He's a thief. It's Jonathan and the Seven Thieves. Obviously, there's going to be a love story. They're going to sing. Now that the queen finds out that, you know, she knows that Snow is still around, she captures Jonathan and makes him, you know, puts a spell on him. Jonathan tells her where Snow is. We're going to go through this is the same thing back into the original story. She becomes that old lady, gives Snow the poison apple. She falls asleep. The dwarves find her, and obviously Jonathan and the huntsman escape the castle. Jonathan's the one that gives her the true love's kiss. They don't call it true love's kiss, obviously, but he's the one who did it, and so he's the new Prince Charming. He wasn't on screen that long, to be honest with you. He was there for a song they performed together, which I thought that number was I actually kind of liked. It was kind of a cool song. She rallies the townspeople to try to go back to the castle to, you know, revolt. This is the part that's kind of, I was thinking that was going to be a big battle. I have a feeling they try to keep it Disney and try to keep it safe. There was no fighting at all. They had a whole group of the townspeople in the background, and you see Snow come up to the front of the castle, and the queen's guards show up, and they all, like, you know, the queen says, arrest her, and Snow White's gift is that she remembers everyone's names and what they do because her mother taught her. This is her virtue. She remembers everyone's name and tells them what they used to do or what they used to be, and they snap out of their spell, and they tell the queen, no, I'm not going to arrest Snow because Snow White is fair and good. She's the princess. The evil queen gets really mad and says, if you won't kill her, I'll kill her. She takes her dagger, which is poison, but she was about to take it and stab Snow. And out of nowhere, one of the thieves shoots down with a crossbow and shoots the knife out of her hand. Where'd he come from? And did they have a plan for them to show up there? But nevertheless, that's what happened. The knife falls on the floor, and the next scene is the evil witch, evil queen, runs back up to the castle, and the first thing she does, she has everything she could do. She could grab a sword, knife, whatever she wanted to try to kill Snow White, right? No. First thing she does, she goes to the mirror to ask the mirror, who's the fairest of them all? And we all know who's going to be, what's the mirror going to say? It's the truth, right? The fairest of them all is Snow White. So the evil queen is now pissed. She takes one of her scepters and breaks the mirror. When she broke the mirror, this is where the evil queen's power comes from. The evil queen turns to ice, and then the vortex develops and sucks her into the mirror. And now she's gone. Then the mirror fixes itself, and you see Snow by herself. Nothing happened. There was no fight scene. She didn't even say a word. She just went, oh, okay. The end of the movie is everyone's dressed in white and everyone's celebrating. The end. That's it. That's the movie. I was kind of shocked, but what I have to say about the production of this movie is you could tell that if they filmed this movie in 2022 and then did some pickups in 2024, this movie is very disjointed. It's basically two movies put together as one. I don't really know what to say. I'm not disappointed in the movie. Is it a good time? I'm not sure it was a good time. I watched it, and some of the numbers they sang, it was some of the songs were okay. If I have to give it a rating, it's because it's so disjointed and, you know, all over the place that you can't really follow too much. As an adult, I would give it a 4 out of 10. It was just so uneventful But you know, I enjoyed the singing a little bit because of the cool songs. The CG was not good. It was not. It looks like an unfinished movie. If I was a kid though, I would give it a 6 out of 10, 6, 7 out of 10 because they'll love the singing, they'll love the dancing. The problem I think really is that this is a story that's been told so many times and so many different versions that people already know what was going to happen, and they try to, you know, make the little changes here and there to, you know, to kind of spruce it up, and somehow along the way people didn't like the spruce upness, so they said turn it back to certain things, and when they did that, the movie became pretty disjointed. So my overall take is I personally would not see this movie again. If you guys saw Snow White, let me know what you think. Leave a message down below. Give me a like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.